So how did you go about learning to trust yourself?
The biggest way that I have reconnected with my intuition is to figure out how to be present. And I think, Catherine, the world is terrified of women's intuition because if women actually trusted their intuition, we would run everything.
What's your advice to women who are still stuck in that to kind of get out of that comparison space?
The shift is from scarcity to abundance. Scarcity means that if you have something, I don't. If you are winning, I'm losing. And so you have to shift from the scarcity to the abundance, which says, her haircut is great. Do I want my hair to be that? Because if I do, I should go get it done. Because you can't demand and receive what you deserve until you know what it is. And then until you believe that you actually deserve it.
Erin Gallagher, she's a CEO, she's a founder, and a author of her Hype Women book, which is kind of where I want to start because that is what started this. You have a copy.
So this is, as you can see, the advanced reader copy,
Oh,
because it doesn't come out until October. But I like now I've been able to actually read my book in book format, and that has been a really wild experience.
that so you started this. How did Hype Women even originate with you? And then it just blew up into this movement.
Yeah.
But how did it start?
So this idea of hype women, which is really about women having other women's backs, women celebrating other women's successes, women who view each other as comrades and conspirators versus competition.
Yeah.
That has been in me my entire life. So it has always been inside of me. That has always been kind of my MO. From the playground to Girl Scouts to my basketball and soccer teams that I was on for decades, to the sorority that I was in, to the friendships that I built and created over the course of my life. Um, so that has always been in me. And then when I became a mother, the shift was I had so much less room for bullshit. And I had so much less room for like just kowtowing to others and shape shifting. I just had less energy. And so
Yeah.
I didn't have it in me anymore. And then obviously we had that piece of shit who was elected president the first
Oh,
time
yes.
around. And that just broke me open like, wow, we are so far behind. And so I left corporate America to found a company called Have Her Back. Again, the spirit of which was very much the same. How are we going to show up for women
Yeah.
and bring them back into industries that they've left because they have pushed them out and all of that. And so I spent 2.5 years growing that company from nothing to be named one of Fast Company's world's most innovative companies 2 years later. And then I turned 40 and I left because I couldn't live anymore with the sort of incongruency of what we said we were on the outside and what was actually happening on the inside
Hmm.
of the company. And and then I spent 4 months in liminality, sort of cocooned and dissolving and wondering who I was and what I was going to
Right.
do. And like, do I go back to the corporate America slog or do I continue on this path of entrepreneurship that I had been pulled into? And so I launched my own company and she turns 3 in 4 days.
No, my goodness. Happy almost birthday.
Which is so exciting. The
Yeah.
only girl that I will ever have after birthing two boys into the world.
Yeah.
And it was about a year and a half into this endeavor as a solopreneur that I wrote a post giving this concept a name because it was sparked in me by an image of Jamie Lee Curtis hyping Michelle Yeoh.
Uh-huh.
She won Best Actress.
Yeah.
for her lead role in Everything Everywhere All at Once at the Golden Globes. And I was so shocked by the photo because we so rarely see publicly a woman celebrating another woman's success as if it were her own.
Hmm.
And so what I always say about that photo is without context, you think Jamie won
Yeah.
and Michelle lost, or Michelle just, wasn't a part of the celebration because
Yeah.
she's so overwhelmed by what had just happened. Her head is in her hands because she is feeling the moment, and Jamie is just elated. And so that post then kind of took my life on another course, another trajectory. It was a sliding doors moment for me where when the moment came and I had the inclination and the intuition to write the post, I had two choices. I could do it, or I could see all of the ways that this is going to be turned around on me. This is going to be
Yeah.
misread. This is going to be misinterpreted. And I could be so scared that I did nothing. And I didn't do that second version. I did the first. And from that, over the next 2 years, Jamie Lee Curtis and I have developed a friendship. I've launched a podcast that has 30 episodes. I've now written a book that's coming out on October 14th. Jamie Lee Curtis wrote the foreword for that book.
I saw that. That's amazing.
Um, I, spent 100 days working on Kamala Harris's campaign to elect our first woman president and launched my own coalition, Hype Women for Harris. In doing so, that was recognized by Oprah and VP Harris. And I got to stand in the room with them while they thanked coalition leaders, the 50 of us who were there.
Wow.
So it has given me a new platform to talk about something that has always been inside of me.
Hmm. And I think, when you talk, you have this excerpt that discussing your book, and it says that you share simple shifts to take you from passively existing as a person who accepts what you get into actively living as one who demands and receives what you deserve. And for me, that's what the whole bossy woman is about as well, owning what you deserve, recognizing what you deserve and really going after what you deserve. But I was wondering, what did that shift look like in your own life from going, from what you were doing to being like, okay, what do I really deserve?
Yeah. Because you can't demand and receive what you deserve until you know what it is.
Yeah.
And then until you believe that you actually deserve it. For me, it was turning 40. I I had this phrase that kept coming to me that refused to leave until I paid it the respect it was due. And the phrase was, I will no longer abandon myself in service to others. I just kept hearing it. It kept coming up. And when I sat with it and looked at the lot of my life, all of my professional career, many of my personal relationships, every single role that I've played, I abandoned myself in service to others. I
Yeah.
saw and felt that my worth and my value was tied to all of that external work. And I just kind of got to this point when I turned 40 where I was like, to what end? Like what do I need to have happen to show me that I deserve to step out from behind the scenes and crawling on hands and feet to the places that I'm told to go so
Yeah.
that others can step on my back to get to where they want to be. To what end? I'm 40. I've got two children. I'm a two-time founder. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Right? Because on paper it didn't match up, but behind the scenes I was like, I am unworthy. And so I honestly think there was something about that age that just broke something open in me. And so when that happened, I spent those next few weeks making really big shifts in my life. Like I said, I left the company that I had co-founded 2.5 years earlier, that I poured my heart and soul into. It was like a death to leave that company. I set new boundaries with my family members around things that no longer worked for me, traditions and access to people.
Hmm.
I reevaluated my friendships and was clear about the expectations and that I was no longer going to keep showing up in the way that served them.
Hmm.
And so like a lot of shit fucking fell apart.
Yeah.
It really did because there's this great quote I quoted in my book, and I'm blanking on the woman's name at this moment, but she talks about how the people who are most upset when you set boundaries are those that benefited from you not having them.
It's so true.
And that was really kind of what happened is I all of a sudden said, this is not a free for all anymore. This is the sort of cost of admission going forward. And the people who are the people that have grown with me and that have stayed with me and that are right for me, I didn't, first of all, even have to have that conversation with them, but in communicating what those boundaries are, showed up,
Yeah.
understood it. And those who were no longer growing with me and who really preferred the version of me before, they're gone now.
How
So
did you leave those relationships like with that sort of like grace and how do you leave relationships that are important to we feel like they're important to us. They have been important to us and
yeah,
now they no longer serve us. But how do you actually how do you actually leave them? I feel like sometimes we get so um codependent on them or we're used to people needing us and then we don't want them to need us as much as, they do. And so how do you go about that process?
I had to believe that my health and wellness was more important than a relationship, period. Whether it was a new relationship, a new friendship, a new business partnership, a burgeoning one, a peer or someone in my sort of network that I had begun to give access to me, or friendships that were decades long. It really came down to this fact that if I felt like when I spent time, energy, money, any sort of capital with these people, if I felt drained
Yeah,
and depleted and degraded and like shit after I did that,
yeah,
that was my intuition telling me this is no longer working. So like the thing I had to do, Catherine, was I had to trust myself again. I lost faith in myself because everyone told me that what I felt, what my instincts were, what my intuition was, what I said my experience was when something happened, everyone told me that that didn't happen. That's not what they meant. You're too sensitive. Why
yeah,
can't you just get over it? So when you're told that over and over again in every facet of your life, you stop trusting yourself because
yeah,
you're like, every time I say the thing that I feel, people tell me I'm wrong.
right.
And so I was like, I must just be off about all of it.
Yeah,
And I finally realized, no, 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 that's my compass. And so when I listened to my intuition, truly how I felt when I was around people, those people you get around and
yeah,
you're like, oh, I'm anxious. I'm nervous about
yeah,
spending time with you. I know I'm going to overshare
right.
because it's our relationship.
Yeah.
You kind of you want to know like a little bit of the trauma dumping, like,
Oh, it's so true.
right?
Yes.
It's like you want to hear that these are the friends who like the salacious parts of your life.
Right. It's like the Desperate Housewives version of life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, so how's that? Is that still not going well? Whether it's a relationship with your mother or your marriage or your business.
Right.
They actually thrive on those stories because it makes them feel better about themselves. When you're doing well, they don't like that. They
Yeah.
don't like that because they actually feel threatened by that. And you're not the version that works inside of their very small bubble, which is like you're the one who's like the struggling one who
Right.
like who is always just a little bit behind. That's the role that you play in their life. And as soon as you're not that person, they have no need for you anymore. So I just started paying attention like I don't feel good. I don't like when I have dinners planned with these people because I don't want to go. If
Right.
I do show up, I feel like shit when I leave. So I'm just not doing it anymore. And I stopped doing it. And the thing is, you don't have to have a big dramatic blow up, blow out breakup. And in my opinion, and I don't really care if this is if some manners person says that this is not the right etiquette, which is like I really need to sit down with every single one of these people and be like, I'd just like to talk about why this is happening. I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
just fucking stopped. I stopped responding.
Yeah.
I I didn't reach out anymore because they weren't reaching out and we kind of just faded away from each other. Like
Right.
you can fall out of relationship with people and it doesn't have to be dramatic. And if neither one of you comes back,
Yeah.
then that tells you everything you need to
Yeah.
know. No one's chasing the other person. Neither one of you is trying to
Right.
keep this going. And if you were the one who always kept it afloat and you stop, it drowns. So that's what I did. Like it really wasn't like I didn't like host a like
A giant meal and then flip a
I didn't have
table
like
and
a
yeah.
Zoom sort of office hours where I
Yeah.
like brought people in and I was like, here's what's happening. I just was like, I'm only going to continue to show up more as myself,
Yeah.
and the way that you receive that will tell me everything I need to know about you.
And then touching back on something you said about learning to trust yourself again, what did those moments look like of listening to yourself and being like, okay, this is real. This is bad. Like I have anxiety.
Mhm.
So I'm always like, is this real or is this, and I've learned that I'm like, maybe I can't trust myself. Maybe, this isn't a real anxious moment. Maybe this is just like a fake one that I've made up in my head or something. So how did you go about, learning to trust yourself in that process?
Yeah. I also have navigated clinical anxiety since I was 14.
Right. Yeah.
So I understand that feeling, right? Anxiety for people that don't really know what it is. It's rethinking and reliving everything that's already happened,
Yeah.
and it's worrying about everything that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Right? And so anxiety is never being where you are. It's always being in your
That's a good
past.
way of putting it. Yeah.
It's always being in your past, or it's always being worried about your future. And so the biggest way that I have reconnected with my intuition and that I have quelled some of that noise that anxiety brings to your mind and body, and that I have started to trust myself again, is to figure out how to be present. And I've done that in a few ways. I, up until the age of 42, I had done yoga twice. I was like, that's not for me. That's so great for those people that are fine with slow stuff. Like,
Right.
cool. Good for you. For me, exercise, it has to be hard hitting. I need to kind of hate it a little bit.
Yeah.
I need to be like dripping in sweat. I need to
It's like a
want it.
punishment that
It's a
we do.
punishment. I need it
Yeah.
to be, I want it to be over. That's hard
Right.
work, right? That's real exercise. And so my relationship with exercise and movement was all about that, competition with myself, competition with others. I was an athlete that played soccer for 15 years. And so when I turned 42, I was like, this isn't working for me anymore. This like Peloton 45-minute arms and intervals with Emma Lovewell which was the exclusive rides that I did.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I hate them now. And nothing is, I don't feel better. And so I started to go to yoga. And the reason that I hated it was the reason I needed it. It forced me to be where I was. If you are thinking about other things when you're doing yoga, you can be a danger to
Yeah.
yourself,
That's
right?
true. Yeah. No, that's so true. That's very
Like
true.
it's like so much of it is like you got to be present and focused or you're going to fall
Yeah.
or you're just not even going to get anything out of it. You're going
Right.
to be just like kind of going through the motions and so you will actually not enjoy it. But it wasn't just the physical yoga piece. It was the going to that studio that I felt like really calm inside of. I felt very at peace. It was the the like cards that my teacher pulls every day and reads and force me to like do a little introspection and kind of just be there. So it was just the whole ritual around it was a ritual in being present.
Mm-hmm.
And so in those moments of quiet, that is when I would really kind of get these intuitive hits about what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And I think, Catherine, the world is terrified of women's intuition. Because if women actually trusted their intuition, we would run everything.
This
We would,
reminds me of like Women Who Run with the Wolves. Have you
yeah,
ever read
yeah,
that book?
yeah,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's
right?
all about like intuition. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like intuition over everything. Intuition over everything. If we trusted our intuition and we didn't overthink it, we would be running everything. We would be leaving people, places, and programming that no longer work for us left and right.
Yeah.
And so the patriarchy is terrified of women's intuition. It's why it hates that we are all coming alive with like, yeah, you know what? I'm doing some witchy shit lately.
Yeah.
And I'm pulling oracle cards. I'm doing tarot. I'm going to yoga. I'm meeting in small circles with women that I care about. We're talking about like our instincts and like what we feel we need to be doing. Because when we all start doing that, the the infrastructure of the patriarchy that has its craw in us will start to crumble.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what happened to me is I got back into my body. I took my body back, a body that had been taken from me by pregnancy twice.
Yeah. It is.
Like taken.
Yeah.
I was like occupied.
Yeah. It's aliens, right?
20
Yeah.
months, 20 months of growing a human. You are a vessel. You are occupied. And then however many months outside of that you are still using your body to feed your kid, like, and then your body is still recovering for years afterwards. And
Yeah.
so and then what's happening with the world where women's bodily autonomy is being stripped from us on a daily basis.
Right.
Like I reclaimed my body. And when I did that and I stopped escaping it, which was another way to just navigate trauma and stress and anxiety, was to like disassociate.
Mm-hmm.
When I decided to start coming back in, the messages started hitting. And so the world is afraid when we say intuition and we say, like, I've received a download. Okay, use other words. I have an idea.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's like, I got it a hit in my gut. Like,
Yeah.
but that it all means the same thing.
Yeah. So for women who kind of going back to the competition thing, because I played soccer too. It's a big soccer person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but you do, it does, it's a great camaraderie thing. It also feeds in the competitive piece too a lot. And then, so for women who are stuck in the competitive and comparison space still, which I feel like is so easy, and school's going to be starting sooner than we know, and we're going to do school drop-offs, and you see all the other moms, and it just like builds into this whole, you have to do the socializing thing and all of that. What's your advice to women who are still stuck in that to kind of get out of that comparison space?
Yeah. The shift is from scarcity to abundance. That's the like simplest way to put it. Scarcity means that if you have something I don't. If you are winning, I'm losing. So it is a constant comparison that has a finite amount. And it's why when she gets a cute haircut, you feel like your hair looks like shit,
Yeah,
right? Or she's wearing a dress that you've always wanted to buy but you couldn't afford that
right.
like you've been cheated.
Yeah.
It's all of those things because it's a comparison. It is viewing life as a comparative exercise, which will steal your joy
Hmm.
every second of every day. And so you're right that we experience that as mothers dropping off our kids in elementary, middle, high school, we are watching our hearts walk around outside of our bodies. And then we are seeing these other women, many of whom remind us of those mean girls on the playground.
Yeah.
Because mean girls don't grow up to hype women, they grow up to hate women. And then they teach their daughters to do the same.
Yeah.
And so, first, just think about this idea that like you are not in competition with her. Your lives are on two separate tracks. And then think about the fact that she doesn't deserve any more of your energy because every ounce of energy that you give to her, she wins and you lose. Because she ain't thinking about you,
No, that's so
right?
true. Yeah.
Like she's not, but she's living rent free in your head. And what a waste of space. And so you have to shift from the scarcity to the abundance, which says, her haircut is great. Do I want my hair to be that? Because if I do, I should go get it done.
Yeah.
Her haircut does not impact my haircut.
Yeah.
Do I love that dress so much? Is her not having the dress making me feel better about not having the dress? If I really want that, I got to figure out how I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not our fault. That's the other thing here, Catherine, is that this conditioning that's in us, this mean girl, because there's a mean girl inside of all of us. There's a mean girl inside of me. I
Yeah.
was conditioned my whole life to view women as competition and threats.
Yeah.
And so when it comes up, the first thing to do is give yourself compassion and grace and say, of course I feel this way. I've been taught my whole life to feel this. So first it's compassion and it's recognizing that you have the feeling, not shame, not like, God, what is wrong with me? I'm such a bitch. It's of course, I've been taught my whole life. So I'm a good soldier. I am coming up
Right.
and still believing that this is my own belief and not conditioning. So you recognize the conditioning and then you say, and now I have the opportunity to make a different choice. And so you hype that woman only if it's a woman that you like, right? If this is
Right.
a mean girl, just create space between you and do all of that. But if it's someone you like but you still have the feeling,
Yeah.
if you do the opposite action, it will rewire your brain. So let's use the haircut example. You see someone that you love and you've been thinking about getting a bob.
Oh, actually, I have been thinking about getting a bob.
Okay.
So this is
Okay.
a perfect example. Yes.
Okay. So you've been thinking about it and you've been thinking of all the reasons you're not going to do it, but I've taken so long to grow my hair out and like it's just it's easier to pull it up sometimes. But then every day when you blow dry your hair, you're like, I fucking hate it. And I just want to
Yeah.
get rid of it. And you're thinking about it and thinking about it, and then you show up and your friend has a bob and you're like, God damn it. She did it. And so again, the scarcity mindset, the mean girl mindset is, well, if she did it, I can't do it because now it looks like I want to be her.
Right.
It's, why did she do it? Did she hear me say I wanted to do it and she took the idea? Right? That is all the bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead, you're gonna do this. Oh my God, your hair is amazing. That is so adorable. Where did you get it? I have to go get it.
Yeah.
When you do that, she feels good, you feel good. The endorphins start to rewire the neural pathways that have set you up to fight each other. And instead, you are now like in lockstep. And so that to me that's the way forward is to recognize the conditioning, to forgive yourself for having the feeling and thought, and then to make a different choice.
That is, I think that, we all get caught up in these moments of, over analyzing and wondering like all of these different pieces. That is so brilliant. Your book, the whole title is Hype Women, Breaking Free from Mean Girls, Patriarchy, and Systems Silencing You. What's one of the main takeaways from your book that you would like people to get when they read it? Because I am so excited for it. And I saw all the places you can pre-order it on your website, on Amazon, I believe, and I think Barnes and Noble, and
Anywhere that you buy books, you can pre-order right
yeah,
now.
yeah. So I saw that. But what's one takeaway that you'd like people to get after they read your book, which I am so excited for?
This book is a living, breathing work of art. And what I mean by that is I break it into three parts. The first part is called I Was the Crawling Caterpillar. And that whole part, and those chapters are about the good girl conditioning and the falling in line and the playing by the rules in a game rigged against you and the doing what you had to do in order to survive and the forgiving of that. The second part is called I Am, which is cocooned and dissolving. And this is the part where you are letting go of the versions of yourself that no longer work. You are walking away from the people and the places that are not a part of your journey. And you are releasing the conditioning that has turned you into someone that you don't want to be. And then the third part is called I Will Be, and it's the monarch. As you can see,
I love all the butterflies. Yeah.
especially with butterflies, there are butterflies all over the cover
I
because
love it.
I'm obsessed with this idea of metamorphosis and transformation and of crawling along as a caterpillar at an incremental pace
Yeah.
and not being able to get anywhere and deciding I'm over it and cocooning and dissolving into goo and then transforming into something completely different, breaking out and flying away.
Yeah.
I can't even wrap my head around this.
No. Yeah.
But this is what women do over and over and over and over and over again in our lives in every single role that we play. And so this book meets you wherever you are every time you're there. That's the difference here. This is not a here are the three things you need to do and then you're good. No, it's here's the deal. This is a journey.
Yeah.
And the stuff that has hurt you before and the situations that have caused you issue, they will come up again. Lessons and situations will cycle through. The difference is, should you want to transform and to grow, is that you will be different. And so the way that you handle those situations is different. The way that you react or don't react to those people is different. The way that you feel is different.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to create a body of work that made women who have worked so damn hard feel held. I wanted it to be a soft place to land. And so that is what I truly hope will be the experience of any woman who reads it, is that you feel seen. You feel seen in the pages. You feel supported, and then you start to understand the way that you are going to heal yourself through and out.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of summer is busy with kids. It's supposed to be relaxing. It's not relaxing. It's the opposite of
Relax. I don't know
relaxing.
who said it was relaxing, but
Yeah,
they
they did.
lie. I mean,
They
it's
did.
there's so much joy, but it's just there's so much frenetic energy too.
Yeah, there is. So thank you for taking the time. Also, maybe it's my ADD, but the jacket behind you is fantastic.
So this is Jamie Lee Curtis's jacket.
No.
Yeah. So she wore this to Comic-Con last year. And when she posted a picture of herself in it, I texted her and said, "Oh my God, I need that jacket."
Yeah,
And I meant it like, "I love your jacket. It's so great." Right.
right.
But Jamie put it in like 2 days later on my front porch was the jacket.
No, my gosh.
So, I mean, it's like Sisterhood of the Traveling Jacket. That's Jamie. The Jamie Lee Curtis is the type of woman who will give you the jacket off of her back because you say that you need it. She is an abundance mindset woman. She doesn't believe that there is a scoreboard. Neither one of us do. And that is why our relationship has grown. And it's why this has moved on from being just a moment to a movement.
Yeah,
You find women in your life who hype you as much as you hype them in all kinds of ways. And no one is ever sitting there going, wait a minute, did you do it last or did I? Was mine worth more? Did yours get me farther? When you don't have that, abundance.
I've like almost cried like 4 times listening to you talk today. Because I think it does it like you said about your book, I think what you say meets us all in a different space wherever we are in this whole, cocooning journey out of the caterpillar. And it's so true. When we're in the caterpillar stage, it is so slow. And you
Mhm.
think you're like, what am I doing? This is ridiculous. I'm like, everything is moving faster than me. So it was absolutely fantastic. I am so appreciative of your time. And you have to do another thing in Chicago.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's coming. Don't you worry. There's more to come. I sort of paused my frenetic book tour before the book tour
Yeah.
because I sat down and said, you are doing what you've always done, which is booked and busy and overextended,
Yeah.
and you got to stop repeating those patterns. And so I said, I have to take a pause and I have to actually enjoy this time, which is the time before the book breaks out of her cocoon.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing, but don't worry. More
Okay.
cities and events and experiences, both virtually and in person, are coming for all of us to collectively gather.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and good luck with the rest
Catherine.
of your day with your children. I hope that the what kind of salamander
Leopard
was it?
gecko.
Yeah, oh, leopard gecko. Yeah, I hope he's okay because it takes a lot of like temperature control and
Yeah, but we
everything.
have
And
we have heat lamps and UV lamps and like a heating pad on the bottom and multiple thermostats. Yes, girl.
I
And the
should take such good care of myself.
I mean, for real. No, for real. I was like, bruh, if I have to make another trip to PetSmart for like new saffron moss, like I'm
Yeah,
out. I'm
yeah,
out. I'm
yeah.
out.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you again. Have a good
Thanks,
day.
Catherine. Talk to
I
you
really
soon.
appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.